Steelers fans, the con artist has officially struck. He has struck a deal with the Indianapolis Colts, trading for wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. He is the new wide receiver, too, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, pairing up with DK Metcalf nearly a year after Omar traded for DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks. We are now landing Michael Pittman Jr. as our new wide receiver 2 here in Pittsburgh, and I couldn't be more happy about this deal, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the content today, this is why you subscribe to the channel, guys. When the con artist strikes, when the Steelers make moves, when they sign their quarterback this year, we're going to have breaking news coverage for you guys right here on Steelers Talk. If you're watching this here on Monday, we're live right now on Steelers Talk. So after you watch this breaking news video, go check out our live stream. We're breaking down everything that happens in the NFL today during free agency, as well as every single move that the con artist pulls off. And it was reported by Tom Pelissero. He says, trade. The Colts are sending wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. to the Steelers. And we've also got word that this is going to be a deal for a late-round pick swap. And Tom Pelissero says it's a late-round pick flop. I think he means swap there. So the Colts re-sign Alec Pierce, and by the way, for a lot of money, almost $29 million per season, and now send Pittman to Pittsburgh. And if you guys were watching our live coverage here today, you guys know that once I saw Pierce's contract with Indy, I'm like, they could trade Michael Pittman Jr. And just a few minutes later, this ended up coming to fruition. And then Andrew Kessler reported that Michael Pittman Jr. is getting a 3-year, $59 million extension. That is an excellent extension, in my opinion. That's probably going to lower his cap hit for this year. The Steelers were inheriting the $24 million that the Steelers were originally supposed to pay him for this one season. He only had 1 year left on his deal, but now you're adding 3 years and $59 million to that. So you have DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. under contract for the next 4 years here in Pittsburgh as this team's wide receiver duo. And Filippone points out here that that's the same exact contract that Jacksonville Jaguars gave Jacoby Myers, which is fitting because the Steelers were trying to get Jacoby Myers at the NFL trade deadline last year. Apparently, the Raiders gave Myers the choice. Do you want to go to Jacksonville or do you want to go to Pittsburgh? He chose Jacksonville. And what's kind of ironic about that is that Michael Pittman Jr. is a very similar style of wide receiver to Jacoby Myers. Like, neither of them is like a vertical deep threat or anything like that, but they're big-bodied, tough, sure-handed, short to intermediate route runners. So if you're looking for somebody that can win quickly on slants and all these kind of shorter routes, he's got excellent ability to do that. And not to mention that, but also the intermediate game, over the middle, making tough catches. Also, he's an excellent red zone threat. Like, Michael Pittman Jr. is the epitome to me as a wide receiver 2 in this league. And the fact that they're trading for a 28-year-old wide receiver definitely points to the Pittsburgh Steelers planning on, trying to win now, heading into the 2026 season. Last year, this team obviously was looking for that wide receiver 2. They tried to get Jalen Waddle and Jacoby Myers and Rashid Shaheed at the trade deadline. Didn't work out, and it was just a revolving door at wide receiver 2, where there's a constant question. Is Calvin Austin III the wide receiver 2? Is Roman Wilson the wide receiver 2? What about Adam Thielen, MVS? Nobody really stepped up into that role, but now the Pittsburgh Steelers are not messing around. They land Michael Pittman Jr. for a late-round pick swap. So the Steelers don't even really give up a draft pick. They still have 12 draft picks in the NFL draft this year, and they're landing one of the more, I would say, higher-end wide receiver 2s in the entire National Football League, who is a perfect complement to DK Metcalf. Now, let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. What is your one-word reaction to this trade? Obviously, at the time of me recording this video, we don't have full trade details, but we do know it's a late-round pick swap for a legitimate wide receiver 2. Let me know your grade for this trade down there in the comments section. Just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at GLD. While I tell you about our sponsor today, let me know your one-word reaction to this trade. Every guy's closet has some of those go-to pieces, right? Whether it's shoes that go with everything, the one pair of jeans that fit just right, the t-shirt that always looks clean no matter what you pair with it. You don't overthink those pieces. You just grab them and they work every single time. But most guys are missing one thing from that lineup. Jewelry. That's where GLD comes in. They make the kind of pieces that become part of your routine, not just something you save for special occasions or just for once in a while. Just clean, quality pieces that instantly make your fit look more fresh. Once you add a GLD chain to your rotation, you will never go back. And this isn't the cheap stuff either, guys. GLD only uses real gold, and every stone is meticulously hand set, and their production process is on a completely different level. You can see and feel the difference. Here's actually my GLD pendant that I got from them, guys, the Steelers pendant that I have. I wear this on Steelers game days for our watch parties and all that different stuff, guys, and they got a bunch of different pieces. So if you don't like the pendant, you guys can go with a little bit more minimal. They've got a bunch of different selections from watches to chains, the pendants, bracelets, even a nice selection of watches like I mentioned if that's your style. Whether you keep it simple or like a little shine, they've got you covered with whatever you need. And it's not just hype, guys. They have over 2 million customers and 50,000 five-star reviews, with GLD being worn by names like Justin Bieber, Malik Neighbors, Micah Parsons, A$AP Rocky, and plenty more. But the best part is that every single piece from GLD is guaranteed for life. If you want to look, feel, and be your best, or just want to level up any outfit, this is the missing piece that you've been sleeping on. Work hard and change the game with GLD today. For a limited time only, new customers are getting an insane deal. Use code CHAT to get 50% off at GLD.com. That's half off with code CHAT at GLD.com. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. And a big thank you to GLD for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. So my one-word reaction to this trade, guys, is yes, because we have been waiting for this moment for literally months, Steelers Nation, where we've been waiting for that legitimate wide receiver too. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers, who is currently still a free agent at the time of me recording this video, might have been waiting for a move like this. Maybe it's possible that Rodgers didn't want to hitch his wagon to the Pittsburgh Steelers here in 2026 if they didn't land a legitimate wide receiver too. And I would certainly say that Michael Pittman Jr. fits that bill for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not to mention, I think it's possible that the Steelers could be paying less against the cap for Pittman this year than they would have if they would have signed Romeo Doubs, for example. And I think Pittman is a more established, veteran presence than Romeo Doubs is. And, this has been somebody that it's been a little bit of a while since he's gotten, to that 1,000-yard mark. But, he's a very good receiver. That's a good red zone threat. He's a good route runner. And, he just brings that size, that toughness, the sure hands, and the route running to the short and intermediate levels of the field that was desperately missing from the Pittsburgh Steelers offense last year. And now that you lock him up for the foreseeable future, you've got your wide receiver duo for the next 4 years, or at least based on how long these guys are under contract, right? So no more excuses here for whoever the quarterback is going to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. We have a legitimate wide receiver duo here in Pittsburgh, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be able to do as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Grade the trade for me down there in the comments. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. For me, I'm going to give this trade an A, not knowing the full details yet, but I do think that this is an excellent trade. A late round pick swap is what Pelissero is saying for a legit wide receiver too. You lock him up for the foreseeable future, and you don't give up any premium draft assets to get your guy at the wide receiver 2 position. So I absolutely love the deal, guys. I am giving this an A for the con artist. One of my favorite moves that Omar has made as the GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And just to kind of recap what the Steelers have done so far today, they have brought back Asante Samuel Jr. on a one-year, $4 million deal. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of that deal now that I know that James Pierre went to the Vikings for just $4.25 million over 2 years. I probably would have taken the Pierre deal over the Asante Samuel Jr. deal just because Asante, he's got that injury history that I don't love. But I think that's a fine value for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, of course, Cole Holcomb is returning to the team here on a 2-year, $5 million deal. And, of course, Michael Pittman Jr. is the big move for the Pittsburgh Steelers here today. And, of course, if we get more breaking news throughout the course of the day, guys, we will get you guys these breaking news videos as the day goes on. And a reminder that we are currently live on Steelers Talk, breaking down every single move in the National Football League today, in NFL free agency, of course, doing these breaking news cuts when, Steelers moves happen, just like this one. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.